Hello everyone! Today I decided to start my morning in the style of Mr. Anatoly, a well-known YouTube blogger who lifts incredibly heavy weights and loves to prank other athletes right in the gym. Everything I managed to find about his routine came from one of his interviews. He gave a rather superficial description of his morning there, but I still put together a plan and will try to follow it. What comes of it, you will see for yourselves. Enjoy watching. I woke up around 11 AM, and not just because it's day off. According to Anatoly himself, he usually gets up somewhere between 10 and 11. So I stayed pretty true to his schedule. I started the morning with a couple of motivational videos, got a bit sucked in, as you do with a slow start to the day. Luckily, I slept well and was in pretty good mood. Then I went to a shop and took a few sips of water. Next on the schedule, a warm-up. Anatoly usually starts his day with boxing, either hitting pads or working with a fight ball. I chose the fight ball, I already had some experience with it when I trained for 30 days straight, so it was perfect time to refresh those skills. I have 4 balls of varying difficulty levels, but today I went with the red one. It's medium in terms of hardness and, by the way, matched my t-shirt perfectly. Coincidence? I don't think so. As soon as I started working with the ball, it immediately began to hit back. Just my luck. I thought to myself, this isn't for me. Just kidding. I threw on a jacket and headed outside to get a proper warm-up. And yes, even though it's almost summer on the calendar, it was actually cold and pouring rain outside. But as you know, backing down is definitely not my thing. So I kept warming up right there in the drizzling rain. I started off strong, although my movements weren't always sharp, since I hadn't trained in a while. Still, the technique was there. The body remembers how to box. It got tougher as I went. My hands were getting wet, the ball too, and it started slipping. But that's part of the thrill, pushing through it. By the way, if you're wondering why hitting a ball is the first workout of the day, first of all, it's genuinely engaging. Once you start, it's hard to stop, and your body slowly wakes up. And secondly, the fight ball is great for developing reaction, speed and coordination. Skills that come in handy not just in sports, but in life too. Personally, I really enjoy working with a fight ball. Have you ever tried it? Share your experience in the comments. I would love to know how it went for you. By the way, I even managed to pull off a combo with various slips and dodges. It turned out pretty long and smooth. That made me especially happy since I can't remember the last time I was able to go that long without stopping. It really brought the excitement back. About an hour later, it was time for breakfast. Anatoly usually has a snack around this time too, so I decided to follow his lead. I focused on protein, fried up a couple of eggs, and ate them in peace, thinking about the upcoming workout. After that, I moved on to the main part. Started with push-ups, a classic, but pretty quickly I realized that wasn't enough. Then I remembered the dumbbells that had been gathering dust at home. Turns out they are way too light, more suited for a warm-up or boxing drills. And then the question arose, what next? I can't go to the gym. A membership costs about half a paycheck right now, and I'm not ready to spend all the money in the world just yet. So that means I will have to improvise. Well then, time to do it Anatoly style, using whatever's at hand and sheer determination. And then it hit me. If I can't go to the gym, I will make my own. I headed to the store. It was still raining along the way, and I got completely soaked. There I bought 2 packs of bottled water, each with 6 1.5 liter bottles. That added up to about 9 kilograms on each side. I figured that was more than enough to start with. To be honest, I was already starting to get tired just carrying the water home. At one point, I even thought maybe I should call it a day, but no. I decided not to give up. On the way back, I started doing lunges. That way, I not only made it home, but also gave my legs a decent warm-up. When I got home, I headed to the summer gazebo. Normally, it's a place for relaxing, but today it became my gym. I had to clear out some leaves and debris, but in the end, it turned out quite cozy. Then I found a wooden pipe and used it as a barbell. I stuck it through the holes in the water packs, and just like that, I had a homemade barbell. I tried lifting it, and it turned out to be harder than I expected. I wanted to lift it higher, but it hit the ceiling. After that, I decided to try deadlifts. Honestly, I expected it to be tough, but I did it, and that gave me a real boost of confidence. Next, I decided to work on my biceps. I did a few reps and immediately realized the setup wasn't stable. The barbell was wobbling and could fall apart at any moment, so I decided to take it slow, avoiding any sudden movements. By this point, fatigue had started to kick in, but while I still had some energy left, I decided to finish myself off with my least favorite exercise. Squats with the barbell on my shoulders. And surprisingly, I actually liked it. I used to struggle more with this, but now I felt like my movement was more controlled and confident. Whew, that's pretty tough. Not just because of the weight, but because of the bar itself is unstable. I will do a couple more sets, and I think that will be enough for today. Then I did an overhead press to work on my shoulders a bit. After that, I completely destroyed my legs with some final lunges, finished off my bicep with a few more curls, and right near the end of the workout, it happened. One of the water packs gave out, and the bottles came loose. But no big deal. I think I accomplished everything I set out to do. After the workout, I decided to step outside. It had gotten way too hot and stuffy inside, and I was drenched in sweat like I would just run a marathon. Overall, I really liked this routine. It felt easier compared to the previous ones. Not that those were super hard, but this one just felt more comfortable. What I especially liked was that I didn't have to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. That's a huge plus. I believe waking up at 5 AM only makes sense if you're actually getting enough sleep, like going to bed around 9 or 10 PM. Back when I was filming morning routines of various celebrities, I would go to bed around midnight, and that clearly wasn't enough. So if you ever want to follow someone else's routine, make sure to adapt it to yourself. The most important thing is not to harm your physical or mental health. I hope you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.